All right, guys, you're probably watching this video because you picked up an old car somewhere and it's seeing some rust and you don't have enough license plates to patch up all those rust holes. Well, I'm going to show you how you can go from this to this in a few easy minutes. It's not too hard. And if you don't have a welding machine, that's fine. Throw some screws in, some pop rivets. And if you do get a welding machine or you borrow your buddy's welder, or if one happens to fall off the back of a truck, you can always weld it in later on. Let's get started. So as you can see, we're playing with a new wheel arch because this car is going to drop down once everything's in the car, about 1 3/4 inches. So we have to raise that arch upward and that'll thin out that front fender, reducing the mass of the front end. If we line things up at the top there, you can see how much it kind of hangs down below. That was the original length of the fender. We have to take and cut along this red line. The green line was too extreme, the blue line was too straight, red one was Goldilocks. Basically down from this door, we translated the line down below. So we'll have to make a cut there and bring that section inward to allow the fender to be flush fit with the rocker. And at the front here, we've added 2-inch strip all the way up and inside, pulling that headlight bucket forward, kind of minimizing how much this snout sticks out. And we also need to kind of bury that impact beam there at the front. So that's all in the works. Right now, we're gonna take and create a new one of these. And I'll show you what was done in the past. You know, it's pretty scary, but you can see they kind of chopped out a piece with the torch, brazed it in. It's a quick and dirty repair. It gets the job done, but doesn't last too long. And you can see the structure, because moisture got in, it took out the structure. Primary concern today is to create a new piece, get it installed. Once all that's kind of mocked up, tacked in place, then we can go ahead and probably form up this door bottom and finish up the door. It's a lot of little things to do when you're dealing with something this big. I would have loved to finish the door completely, but you know, you kind of have to jump back and forth sometimes. Okay, that's very good. Now we take this and bend that up inside like that. It's gonna radius it up. We'll scribe that, trim that off, and we'll have to put a little piece in here on the end. But now we can go ahead and form up this. I like that. If I had a marker, I could scribe this and that'll be our new piece. Well, the template for the new piece. Ha ha ha. Don't have to worry too much about this leading edge because we're going to be rolling it back here. At the front edge of this tape line. That'll be the new back edge of the wheel arch. Maybe a little bit further back. We'll see. Let's lay this out on a piece of sheet metal and get this formed up. So essentially we want the same shape as what was there. Wow, okay. You could take a piece of cardboard, tissue paper, create your own template, or you could base it off what you have and kind of use this as a template. So there we go. Straight edge. We're going to add a little bit. And we're going to add our 1/2 inch at the front. You see, it's just slightly less than 1/2 inch, but that tape will allow us to give us a nice straight line. If you can find 7/16 tape, well, you'd be right on with what you need. Okay. That's where we make the cut. Now, see, when we create our structure later, we're going to create an opening here for any garbage, debris to leak out. And we won't create a trap like they did. This is the curve that I want to maintain so that everything matches up on the car. So let's cut this out. I didn't allow material to roll in because we're going to move in this line back. So that should be okay. Yeah, we're ready to cut this out. So there we have our blank, and this is where we're going to start from. Now I'm going to run over to the passenger side and see how they differ, or I'll grab the passenger side piece, because we can always cut out a second one, have it ready. Yeah, so the passenger side's a lot worse than the driver's side one. There is no structure, and there is no edge, there's nothing. So we're going to use the driver's side edge, transpose that for the passenger side piece, and just make the piece bigger. There must have been a sale on pop rivets. Check that out. Okay. Quick and dirty. Pop rivet the center, pop rivet the perimeter. Good for a quick resale. See that little step they created, we're going to replicate that because that's what stiffens the bottom edge. Right now, it's kind of wavy. By giving a little step like that, it creates some strength down there and smooths it out. Rather than trying to match all this stuff up, and put those off to the side, I'm just going to add about 3 inches to this blank for the passenger side, and we'll use that. So we've broken the panel. I'm going to wheel it up a bit. Don't need very much shape to it. I just don't want a flat area in that heel area. There is a little bit of convex shape. I think that's going to be it. If we lay this square on top, see it rocks a little bit, and that's all we need. We don't want to bulge here. We just want to give a little bit of strength outward, and that way the panel has, some stiffness to it. We're gonna go to the tipping wheel, break this hem upward, and try fitting it to the car. Later on, once everything's kind of tacked in place, then we'll figure out where the wheel arch is going to be, and we can roll that when it's part of the fender. We should also do that little strengthening bead down below here. So first things first, let's roll this up. There we go. So that is our first break. Now we can take the hammer and dolly and roll it up, or we can try rolling this a bit more. We're going to run into trouble along this curvature. The panel will actually straighten out like that. See? It'll actually straighten our panel when we roll this up. So it's when you roll the hammer right over on itself, similar to the bottom of the door, that you can retain or regain your shape again. Because the material has to stretch and then it has to shrink. I think that's all I'm going to give it. Now we go ahead and see it's starting to bunch up. So we'd have to shrink that and then stretch it back out. I don't want to do that. What we're going to do is just take and push it over the rest of the way by hand. And there we have it, guys. So we have our little step, just like the factory. I'll show you in a second. And we can take and roll this over almost all the way. We can't pinch it down too tight because we have to slip the structure in under that. Okay, we've got our curve, but I want to make sure that it's what we have on the car as well. All right, so with that located there, you see our gap. It comes down, follows the same curvature here, and then it straightens out. We'll have to take and roll that underneath, and we are flush with the rocker panel, which is what we want. There'll be a fastener down below to attach there. We'll have to seal the ends off, you know. Okay, let's finish this off. Okay, we're getting very close. The curvature is not where it needs to be yet, but we can fix that. I just want to show you the bottom. So we have that step there, which is replicated here. We'll drill that hole later, reinforce it, because they have a bit of a backer from the structure. And that should be it. See, even with that small amount of hem, it made the panel very strong. I don't want to kink it, so we're going to bend it over something that's kind of round, and we might have to open that up after. Curvature is getting really close to what we need. See, I have to tighten that hem up a little bit more for it to flow in better, but we're close. So we can go ahead and scribe this to the fender and get it tacked in place. Okay, let's weld it. So now that we have a few tacks on this panel, we're going to take and plenish them a little bit, kind of smooth out the surface. It's not too bad. That's feeling good. We can now go ahead and weld that up. So just finished welding this up. Go ahead and knock off that weld with the grinder and metal finish it. And there we have it, guys. Fender heel, formed up, shaped up, installed, welded. We still got to finish that, of course, but it's where it needs to be. Let's put the skin on and see how it looks with the skin in place. Door skin. This is tricky now. There we go. Matter of holding the tongue right. And voila. So yeah, we need to pull that in a little bit, round the corner off just a bit, you know, fine tune everything. But overall, things are starting to shape up relatively quickly. You know, there's still a lot of work involved, don't get me wrong. We still have the inner structure to do and all that stuff. Will that stay? Hopefully. Do that. I think we're coming in too harshly. Let's come back a little bit more there, like that. And come down. I'm not sure if we're gonna come straight back. I don't like the look of straight back. It's something we can play with. There, kind of like that. That'll radius down, but we got to stand back, like I mentioned, more than 3 feet. Take a look at this and make sure that that curve is good. I like the top, I like the way this is coming in. This looks a bit weird at this point. So perhaps if we follow the back edge of this door, or the front edge of this door, back edge of the fender, that may look better. So you have to look at the rest of the lines on the car. To come back like that, it's going to expose the structure inside. We don't want that because we have a wheel liner in there as well. Let's do that. Right there. Okay, I like that. That looks good. What do you think? Yeah? Good, okay. He says it's good, so we're gonna run with this for now. With the tape, we're not cutting anything away just yet. So I wanna take and fix all this in place, get this done, get that quarter panel wrapped up, and then we can play around with wheel arches. That's trivial compared to everything else. So thanks so much for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Take care.